Mark was a 45-year-old father of two, a mid-level manager at a tech company, and a man staring down the barrel of an uncertain future. The email had come that morning, company-wide restructuring to adapt to market changes. In corporate speak, it meant layoffs. For weeks, rumors had spread like wildfire, but now the fear was tangible. Mark couldn't concentrate all day. His mind churned with what-ifs. What if he lost his job? What if he couldn't provide for his family? What if he had to start over, competing with younger, hungrier candidates who had skills fresher than his? That evening, the weight of it all drove him out of the house, seeking air and solace. Wandering aimlessly, Mark found himself near a park where a local philosophy club hosted weekly gatherings. He'd seen them before, a mix of students and older enthusiasts, discussing everything from Aristotle to existentialism. Tonight, a sign caught his eye: Socratic wisdom, living without fear. Drawn by curiosity, Mark hesitated before sitting at the edge of the group. The leader, an older man with silver hair and a calm demeanor, noticed him and smiled. "Welcome," he said. "Tonight we're exploring how Socrates approached fear. Do you have a fear you'd like to discuss?" Mark laughed nervously. "More like a mountain of them," he said, explaining his work situation. "I'm terrified of what might happen. Losing everything, starting over. It feels like my whole life could collapse." The leader, who introduced himself as Theo, nodded thoughtfully. Socrates once said, "He who fears what he cannot avoid is wasting his life in dread." Let's break it down. What exactly are you afraid of? Mark sighed. Losing my job, failing my family, not being able to bounce back. Losing your job is possible, Theo said, but can you control whether the company restructures or whom they choose to let go? No, not really. Then, like Socrates might say, it is beyond your sphere of influence. Now tell me this, what is within your control? Mark thought for a moment. I guess updating my resume, networking, learning new skills, preparing for what might come. Exactly, Theo replied. Socrates taught that fear often arises when we confuse what is within our control and what is not. Focusing on the uncontrollable, the decisions of your company, fuels anxiety. But focusing on what you can control, your readiness, empowers you. What action could you take tonight to move forward? Mark felt a flicker of clarity. I could start reaching out to old colleagues, maybe sign up for that certification course I've been putting off. Theo smiled. Good. Socrates believed that action rooted in reason diminishes fear. But let me ask you this. If the worst were to happen, would it truly ruin you? Mark hesitated. I don't know, it would be hard. Hard, yes, but ruin. Socrates would remind us that our true strength doesn't lie in external titles or possessions, but in our character. Can you imagine a version of yourself who grows from this challenge, even if it means starting over? Mark was silent, the words sinking in. Could he? That night, as he walked home, he realized how much of his fear was tied to imagining worst-case scenarios and feeling powerless. But Socrates' wisdom gave him a roadmap. Focus on what's controllable. Act with intention and trust in his ability to navigate life's trials. Over the next weeks, Mark took action. He updated his LinkedIn profile, reached out to his network, and began attending workshops on emerging trends in his industry. He even spent time reflecting on what he truly valued, not just providing for his family, but being present and setting an example of resilience. When the restructuring came, Mark's position was indeed cut, but instead of succumbing to panic, he faced it head-on. Within 3 months, he had secured a new role, not just a job, but one aligned with his newly clarified goals. And every so often, when fear crept back into his life, he remembered that night in the park. Socrates had taught him that fear thrives on uncertainty, but wisdom grows when we anchor ourselves in what we can control. In the end, it wasn't the job he lost, it was the grip of fear over his life. Mark's journey reminds us that fear, while deeply human, is often a reflection of our thoughts about uncertainty rather than the challenges themselves. Socrates' wisdom teaches us to focus on what lies within our control, our actions, our mindset, and our character, while letting go of what we cannot influence. In the face of modern challenges like job insecurity, financial pressures, or personal doubts, the timeless lessons of ancient philosophy guide us toward clarity and resilience. Like Mark, we can learn to transform fear into purposeful action, finding strength not in avoiding life's difficulties, but in confronting them with wisdom and courage. So next time fear knocks on your door, ask yourself the Socratic question: am I fearing the event or my perception of it? Focus on your circle of control, act with intention, and trust in your ability to adapt and grow. If this story resonated with you, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Aeon's Mentors for more timeless wisdom to help you navigate life's challenges. Let's continue to explore ancient insights for modern growth together. Until next time, stay curious, stay resilient, and let ancient wisdom illuminate your modern path.